So yes people, welcome back to another video here on the J&M Football channel. So today I want to talk about a period in most footballers' lives from when you're going from the youth team or academy football and you're moving into first team senior football. So here's 5 things I wish I knew when I was taking that step from youth football into senior football. So number 1 is when you're taking that step from youth football or academy football and you're going into the senior first team football level, you're starting from the bottom. So you're basically starting again. So just like in the youth team or academy teams, you started from the bottom and you worked your way up, and then you worked your way up to become a big important player for your youth team, academy team, whatever. But then when you take that step into the first team, you're again starting right from the bottom and you have to work your way up. You have to prove to them, prove to everyone, the players in the first team, the coaches, the staff, that you are there to play and that you are good enough to get minutes. So you just have to accept the fact that you are starting from the bottom and it's not going to be easy, but you have to work your way up. Now number 2, and probably the most shocking thing I realised when I went up into the senior football, was how serious it is. In the senior football setup, or in first team football setups, the most important thing is winning. In youth football or academy football, the most important thing is for them young footballers to learn, grow, and then eventually become the footballers that team wants them to become. So in youth football, the results aren't the most important thing. However, in senior football, nothing else matters but the results. If you're not winning, if you're not getting them 3 points on the weekends, people are going to start asking questions of the team, the players, and the coaches. People who play in senior football and earn money know how serious it is. People just aren't playing for fun because they love football. It's their job. They're playing to be able to pay off all their bills, their mortgage, their healthcare, all stuff like that, send their kids to school. They're playing to provide for their families. Now there's nothing more serious than being able to provide for your family and to put food on the table for your wife, husband or children. In youth football, if you have a bad game or you lose, yeah, you might get shouted at, yeah, you might have to do some extra running in trainings, but apart from that, nothing much happens. When it comes to senior football, people are missing out on money, on bonuses, people have got bills to pay at the end of the month. This is how serious it is. Now, number 3 kind of links to number 2, but being in a senior football setup and a first team football setup, it's brutal. No one cares what you think and it's not fair. You have to hear things and see things every single day that you don't really want to see or hear. People don't care how you feel from seeing that or hearing that. People don't care what you're feeling. All people care about is getting them 3 points when it comes to Saturday. Now, if they have to shout at you every single day to ensure they get the 3 points on the weekend, that's what they're going to do. We're going to have to accept the fact that it's not fair, and it's not always fair in football. Players are going to be playing instead of you because they're closer with the coach. The coach likes them more than you. It could even be a coach's friend or son, cousin, whatever. There's so many things that happen in football that are unfair. But there's not much really you can do about it, except you keep on working hard, get your head down, and your time will come. There are going to be many situations in football throughout your career that you don't really want to be in, and you just have to keep the right mindset and stay focused on your end goal. Now, number 4 is something I've already mentioned, but being in a senior football setup is all about winning. Nothing else matters. You have to get them 3 points when it comes to the weekend. Because if the team starts playing badly or you're not getting the results the club wants, your coach could get sacked, players could get thrown out the team, players might not be offered new contracts come the end of the season. So all that matters is that you're winning. Football is based on results, and if you're not getting the results needed, something's going to change and something needs to happen. Yes, it might be unfair. Yes, you might not be playing. Yes, you might be playing out of position. Yes, you might be getting treated badly. People might be shouting at you, swearing at you, stuff like this. But they're doing all of this because it matters so much to them that they win on the weekend. Because if your team's not winning, your coach is running the risk of getting sacked. Players are running the risk of not getting new contracts at the end of the season, which ultimately means they won't have a job come the end of the season, which also means they can't provide for their families. So again, this goes back to how serious it is and how brutal the first team football setup is. Now, my 5th and final point is, or my 5th and final thing that I learned when I went into senior football was you have to step up and you have to take your chances. So I went into a senior football setup at 16 years old. I was training with the first team every day, and then I would sometimes go and play for the youth team, and I would be on the bench for the first team. Now, for my first season, I didn't really get much game time for the first team, but I knew any opportunity I got to play, I had to make the most of it, even if that was 2 minutes in a cup when we're already up 5-0. I had to give my 110% and ensure that my coach sees what I can offer this team and how I can help the team win. So any small opportunity you get, and the thing you don't realise, you get an opportunity every time you get to train with the first team. You need to see that as an opportunity to prove that you are good enough to be there. So every training session, every minute you get in a game, you need to give your 110%, and you need to prove to your coach and your teammates that they can trust you and that you are good enough. This is also a way you win their respect. Obviously, when a young kid goes into the first team, all the players looking, who's this young skinny kid, and things like this. But if you are able to perform well and prove that you are good enough, this will also win them over and they will start to respect you. So any opportunity you get in training, matches, gym sessions, whatever, just prove your worth. So there were my 5 points that I learned when I went into the senior football. They're 5 points I wish I knew when I went into senior football. I know it can be a tough time, obviously, so there is any players going into the senior football now. It is hard and it is a struggle, but if you stick out, you work hard, like everything will work out the way it should, and you will get your opportunity. Now please drop a like on this video if this video has helped you, or if you're going to use this advice in the future when you're going into the first team yourself. Subscribe to see our future videos, and I'll see you later in the next one.